as much time as you guys need, okay? So first of all, the purpose behind the collections, and this is what you guys need to understand. This is a system, okay? This is a way to track. This is a way to have some organization and like clarity around what you're doing. And this is not a one size fits all. So just because this works for me does not mean it's going to work for you. And maybe you have something that already works. Do that. Do not break what is not, or do not fix what isn't broke. So if you have something you love, then do it. But if you're using this, I want to make sure you're using it efficiently and it's effective for you. Okay. Another thing is this is constantly evolving. For me, the more I do it, the more that I use it, the more that I shift, the more that I just like, it's a constant, I'm changing and shifting to refine and fine tune how it works for me. So if you're watching this, like sometime down the road, it might be different at this point, but it's like, this is the basic, okay? This is the basic, the foundation, and then you guys can have it work however for you. So the reason that I did this was because I work 99% of the time from my phone. I just do. Instagram is so much easier for me to do stuff on my phone. And that's where the majority of my business is run. And so I'm just on my phone a lot. This started like 2 years ago when I was nursing the majority of the day. And I was like, okay, well, shiz balls, I still have to work. So I'm going to do it all from my phone, from the rocking chair. And this is where the collections came about. Like, this is how I created them, was because I needed a way to sort my brain and to systematize what I was doing so that it was productive. So we're spending this time, hopefully, expanding our network. We need to build relationships and connect with humans every single day. We need a system behind inviting, so you're not just like searching for people every single day to invite. And that's how I created this, okay? So I'm going to walk through kind of the process and then can answer any questions that you guys have specifically, okay? So obviously the first step in that second vital behavior, expand, connect, invite, is expanding. So lots of people ask questions about where you're finding people and how to find people who are active on social media and all those things. And this is like a work in progress. So I create collections, and if you don't know how to create a collection, you simply find a picture. Like if you go to the explore page, here's Danielle. How cute is she? So here's Danielle Natoni. So I'm like, sweet, she looks like a super rad person. You would click this bookmark thing on the bottom right under her picture, hold it down, and it pops up and says save to. When it says save to, if you don't have any collections already saved, you would click the plus sign, name your collection, and then you'd be good to go. So the way that I name my collections, actually, I'll talk about this in a second. Let's talk about expanding. So in order to expand, you need to have, I work from an inspo collection. So that works best for me so that I have a home base of pages and profiles that I'm finding my people on, okay? So how I find those people is, this is what I was showing you. Go to your explore page, and I would start with some of those pages. Those are going to be solid accounts, and as long as they're in your field of interest, maybe they're other moms, maybe they're other people who have maybe they're homeschool moms and you're a homeschool mom, maybe they're people of the same faith, maybe they're people who are interested in your same hobbies and fashion and home decor, whatever. Those are solid accounts to start with because their people will be similar to you, okay? So my inspo accounts are like, I have some boutiques, I have some mom bloggers, I have some women who are of my same faith that have big followings of people who are of my same faith. I have other fitness accounts and like moms who do at-home workouts but are not a part of Beachbody. So I have like home decor. I love farmhouse decor. So I have some home decor and designers as inspo accounts because their people are also people who value the same stuff that I value and are interested in the same stuff that I'm interested in. And those are the people that I want to work with. I'm not targeting these inspo pages. I'm targeting their people are my people. Okay. So as you're working every single day, you should be able to add new inspo accounts, and you don't need to every single day. But I'm just saying, start with a few. All you need is a few to start with. And then when you find other good pages, you just add them to your inspo collection. So that's where I start. So create an inspo collection. That's where your people go. And those are the people who have solid people. Does that make sense? So that's where I start every single day. When I go to expand my network, I go to my inspo account and I click on one of those pages. And all I do is I go to their most recent picture and I go to their likers and their commenters. And the reason that I go to their likers and their commenters in order to expand is so that those are people who are active on social media. I'm not just going to their followers because maybe those people followed them 10 years ago and they're never on Instagram anymore. I go to their active engagers and then I simply am looking at their picture and their name. So obviously if their name is like in another language and I can't read it, they're not my person, okay? But if it's like, oh, Sandra Padilla, she's cute. I go to her page and I just quickly will go to their page just to make sure they're not a coach. So sometimes like you cannot do this, but if you're only expanding with like 15 to 20 people a day, it doesn't take longer than 2 seconds to go to their page, make sure they're not a coach, and then you follow them, okay? Follow. Then you would just go through the rest of them. Okay, so this girl's cute. She's kissing her husband, twin mama. Oh my gosh, they're adorable. Follow, okay? And you would do this for like 5 minutes. It should not take you longer than that. And with however many people you choose to expand with. There's no right or wrong, okay? I would at least do like 10 a day, but you can do as much as like 50. Just know that Instagram might block you if you're doing too much, okay? So find your sweet spot and commit to that, okay? Expand with that many people. Then we go on to the sorting part. And this is where the collections came in because I was spending all this time proactively finding these new girls that I was like, they seem super rad. I want to get to know them. I want to see their posts. And then they would get lost in the Instagram abyss and I would never see their stuff come up. I would never know where they were at. I wasn't writing them down because I was working on the go all the time. So that's where the collections came in. So as soon as I expand, I then go and I sort them into my next collection. So the way that you sort is you click on following. Those are the people that you are following, not your followers. And then right here, it says sort by default. You click on that little arrow and you can say date followed latest. And when you click that, it will then change, it'll reorganize the list and it'll come up with the girls that you just recently followed. Okay, so the 10 or 20 or 50 or however many you just followed now are all in order. And you can then go to their page and sort their picture into a collection. So one thing that I started implementing a couple months ago that has been really, really, really working well, I think it was Rachel asked how you get new eyeballs back on your page and how you get people to follow you back. So first things first, I'm not concerned if people follow me back. Like I don't care. I don't just follow them to get a follow back. I don't like go through and unfollow all the people who aren't following me. If I think you're cool, I want to follow you because I want to see your stuff and I want to be interested in your stuff and I want to show love on your stuff and I want to watch your stories and engage. I don't care if you follow me back. Is it cool if they follow you back because then they get to see your stuff more frequently? Yes, absolutely. But that will happen naturally as your content is solid. Okay, so that's the importance of getting clarity around your voice and your messaging and your pictures being clear and solid and really being able to keep people there once they go to your profile. That's going to happen when you apply Ashley's stuff for the posting content and your stories and making sure they're like solid. Okay, but something that I also started doing a couple months ago that's helping is when I find these girls, so the 20 or whatever that I expand with, I shoot them a message and it's an authentic message that is, I have a script for it, but then I like shift it depending on what their page is about. So it's something as simple as, hey, Sarah, I just wanted to let you know I love how much you value such and such and such. Maybe it's how much you value motherhood. You're such a cute mom, or your kids are adorable, or blah, blah, blah. Whatever's true to their page. And this shouldn't take you longer than a second. Like I have this script. All I change is their name, what their page is about, like what I liked about it. And then the end says something like, I just want to let you know, like I'm stoked to see your stuff in my feed, and blah, blah, blah. And finish it. Okay. So it's just like a positive, hey, I found your page. I love it. I love that you're about this. I'm super stoked to see your stuff. That alone has brought back a lot of girls back to my page, because they'll get that. And every single time they're like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. I just checked out your page. I love how much you're into fitness, and I love how you share fitness, and I love how you're all about positivity and sharing that. Like, keep doing what you're doing. I followed you back. And lots of them will be like, I followed you back. I'm excited to see your stuff. So that alone will get a few more people than just like following them and then leaving them. Okay. So you could shoot them an initial message. Just make sure the message isn't anything weird, or I don't believe in like attacking someone right away and being like, hey, just followed you. Would you want to join my group? Like, don't be that person. We are strictly expanding our market with humans, right? We don't know if they need what you have. We don't know if they're going to be about what you're about. You're just planting that seed and just building a little bit of connection from the start. And if they come back to your page, then that's a bonus. Okay. So that was just a little tidbit. So when you go to sort, you're going through, and all you do, you guys, is you go through the list of the people you just followed, and you click on their page, and then you just click on one of their photos. It doesn't matter which one it is. One of their photos, click on the bookmark, and save it to your next month's collection. So let's talk about how I sort collections. You can do it however you want. I've done it all sorts of ways, you guys. So I started out doing it alphabetically. So if their name started with an A, they went in my A collection. Then so I had girls in their alphabetized collections, and every single day, like Mondays would be like A through G. Tuesdays would be whatever. So I spent time in those collections specifically. Then my brain was about to explode. I'm like, hey, that doesn't work. So then I shifted to the monthly collections. So I had January, February, March. So if I was inviting them, the way that I've always done it, and I don't do it like that anymore. I'll tell you how I do it. But the way that I've always done it is I am adding my people, I'm adding my new people to the collection that they're going to be invited to that group. So for instance, right now it's May 19th. So from May 16th to June 15th, I'm adding to my July collection, because I want from May to June 15th, I want to be able to connect with those girls so that I can have enough time to build a relationship, show interest in their stuff. What?
I want to start today recording.
No. And then invite them to my July group. Okay. So back in the day, I was doing it monthly. Well, then when we ended the year, I was like, okay, well, let's do January 2020, because I have my January 2019. Now we have to do another January. And I was like, okay, no, that's not going to work. Anyways, so you guys are learning, like I've had to fail forward a lot and like figure out how to really simplify this. So the way that I do it now, in order to not lose all of the people that you've been connecting with and building the relationship with, and then like at the end of the year, at the end of the month, they're just like history. Now I do 2-month collections. So the way that I do this is every 6 months, January, July, one collection. So the collection is called January, July. My next collection is February, August. Okay. My next collection is March, September. So that means that right now, May 19th, I am adding to my January, July collection because it's July. And that means that next month, when it's time to invite at the end of June to my July group, those are the people that are getting invited, which means the people that I was adding for January also get re-invited, because I've been reconnecting with those people all month. So every 6 months, you're getting back on people's radar, building the relationship deeper and being able to plant the seed again and re-invite. And obviously, like, there's some people who I don't re-invite. Like, if we're chatting about something and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't fit or whatever, then I won't. But like, for the most part, they get re-invited, and then all the new people get an invite that month. And I unfollow and remove people from collections just as we're connecting. So if we're connecting and I see their stuff in my feed, or like we're in conversation and I can just tell like we do not vibe, like they're just not my person, I'll just remove them from the collection like as I'm working, or unfollow them or whatever. So that's how I kind of, but my collections get pretty decently big, and I just don't stress over like getting through the collection every single day. Like, I just do whatever my allotted time is to connect. I connect for that much time, like effectively and efficiently, and then I move on to the next thing. So that flow, and the reason why I do it from the middle of the month to the middle of the month is because I invite the last week of the month and the first week of the month. So for 2 weeks straight, I'm inviting. So that means at the middle of the month, I don't want to continue adding to that same collection, because then I'll only have like 5 days to connect with those people, which will probably be like one connection. And for me, that's not enough. Like, I want to connect multiple times before I shoot them an invite. So that's why I do, like, that's why I've set it up that way. And it's been working well. Okay. So I basically last year like combined my January, July collections, and then this year I've just been like adding to those. Okay. So that is the connecting part. You can absolutely invite every single day. Like, you don't, the reason that I invite last week of the month and first week of the month, that's just my flow. I publicly kind of start a new group for prep every first Monday of the month, even though I have an ongoing group. So that's just my flow of things. But if you wanted to just send 10 invites a day, you would always have people, your funnel will never run dry if you're consistent with your flow. So you'll always have people to invite every single day, and it would work the same. I just invite more those 2 weeks versus spreading it out throughout the whole month. And then the other 2 weeks that I'm not inviting to my challenge group, I'm recruiting. So it's like heavy on coach posts, heavy on coach call to actions in my stories, inviting girls that I think would be rockstar coaches, inviting my challengers, plugging them into the What is Coaching call. Like, my brain is like, I'm getting coaches for 2 weeks. Like, I'm focused solely on coaches. And then the other 2 weeks, I'm focused solely on filling my challenge group with new people who just want to start a journey. Okay. So then once you connect, once you invite, so that's the invite process, and every single person gets an invite. Like I said, I don't say, okay, I have to connect a certain amount of times before they get an invite. When it's time to invite, they get an invite. And it's something like just kind of casual, like, hey girl, or I always say their name. I don't say, hey girl, I always say their name just so it's more personal. Hey name, I'm getting a few more girls plugged into my virtual gym this month. Have you ever thought about jumping in? Do you want me to send you some info? Like, so no matter where we're at in the combo, or if we've ever even actually talked person to person, I've touched base on their stories. I've touched base on their pictures. I would be coming into their inbox, not as like just some random human. They've seen my name somewhere on the notifications. They know that I've been interested in their stuff. And I consider this a planted seed. I'm not tied to the outcome. I don't care if they're ready or not. I planted the seed. They have the initial invite. They now know that I work with girls in a virtual gym. And at some point, hopefully down the road, they'll come around. So every single one of them gets an invite. The way that I do my follow-ups is I just have one follow-up bootcamp collection and one follow-up coach collection. So I don't follow up with every single person that I invite because I send a freaking ton of invites. And so I want to spend my time following up with the ones that express interest. So if they say, yeah, shoot me some info, or sure, I'm interested, blah, blah, blah. As soon as they have any inkling of interest, they go into my follow-up collection, and I incorporate my follow-up collections into my connections. So every single month, I'm spending at least some time reconnecting with these follow-up girls, because if they don't come through and fill out my application and then we start chatting in email, they're on the fence still. until they like block me or whatever, they're on the fence, in my opinion. And so these follow-up girls, someone asked about my follow-up flow, like how many days I wait. If I remember, I'll check in with them and just be like, hey girl, did you have a sec to check it out? But usually I don't. And so every single person that expressed interest and they go directly into my follow-up collection at the end of the month gets a follow-up. So no matter what, they're at least getting one follow-up monthly, but I'm also touching base in between as a normal human. Like I'm still showing up in their inbox. I'm still showing up on their stories. I'm still showing up on their page. So I'm not just interested in talking to them about Beachbody. Okay. Yeah. You can definitely be better than me at follow-ups. That's just how I do it. You could like track them and make sure, like set a reminder in your phone or whatever. But that's just how I do it because it works for me in my brain. And I follow up when I have a deadline. So like when I have my group starting, when I have a couple days left before we start prep, every single one of those girls is getting a, hey girl, did you have a sec to check it out? Is this still something you want to do? I have a couple spots left. I didn't want you to miss out if you're ready to go. And every single month it's different. Like my follow-up isn't the same every single month. So every single month they get a kind of a re-invite. Are you ready to go? Is this the right time? Until they start or until they say no, never, and block me. Okay. Which never, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it happens, but I don't notice. So that's how that works. I'm trying to think if there was something specific about that. I think that basically explains that part. Okay, so for those of you on live, let me go through the questions really quick. What about introducing yourself to them? Yeah, Shiloh, I don't introduce myself to them because I'm like, they can go to my page and learn all about me. So I've learned people, if we approach people like, hey, I'm important, learn about me, they're going to be like, I didn't ask to learn about you. I don't really care. But if we're like, hey, I love this about you, this is what drew me to your page, I'm super stoked to see your stuff, they're going to be way more like, oh my gosh, thank you, you're so nice. You know what I mean? I would rather start the conversation like that than like, hey, I'm really valuable and you're going to love my page and I have 4 kids and I'm a mom, and they're like, I don't even care about that. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it. So I approach my business how like I feel when someone approaches me that way. I'm like, what is your agenda? Like, why? Why are you talking to me right now? You know? I don't know. That's just how I am. If you're only inviting the last and the first week of the month, what do you do in the middle? Oh yeah, Heather, I talked about that. A recruit, like a friggin' boss. Okay. Any other questions about that stuff, you guys? And the whole idea behind this is like, you have to find your sweet spot. You have to be consistent. This will not work if you only do it some of the time. So maybe it's like expand with 10, connect with 20, invite 5. Like you could easily do that every single day in like 20 minutes. Easily. You guys need to work efficiently and you need to not overthink the process. It's still a numbers game. It's still connecting with humans, building a relationship. Like you just don't know if they're going to be ready when you need them to be ready. Like that's not our job. Our job is not to find the people who are ready for our goals. Our job is to find enough people who are ready for their goals, and we're showing up when it's the right time, which means we've got to stay consistent. We've got to stay on the radar. We've got to be interested in what they're doing. We've got to be showing value on our stuff and let the relationship flourish, because this is hands down the most important aspect. The majority of my power hour and like my business time is spent connecting. That's not selling a challenge pack. That's not signing a coach. I am getting to know humans. I am talking with people about mom life. I'm relating with people about whatever they're going through. Like we're just chatting as humans. And then when I do my calls to actions, when I do my polls, when I invite them behind the scenes, that's when they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let me check it out. Let me get some info. Let me whatever. You know what I mean? So I feel like people get caught up in the outcome and they only spend time inviting, or they only spend time whatever. but you have like zero connection or zero relationship built, and then you have nothing to like build on. So that's where this comes in. And it's just being consistent with it, because you should have hundreds and hundreds of new people to invite every single month, and then a handful of people to follow up with every single month, which every month your follow-up list should grow. Every month the people coming in there might be a few that trickle in from new invites, but a lot of them are going to be trickling in from past follow-ups. So it's just like building this with consistency so that your funnel is always flowing for the rest of forever with solid people that you want to connect with, not that are just randomly finding your page. And that's what I think I've loved most about this. I used to hate small chat. I used to hate the hey girl back and forth, whatever. I'm like, that's not my jam. But when I started really being proactive about the type of women that I want to connect with and that I want to find and that I just think we'd be friends with in real life, or I just think their page is cool, or the content that they're putting out is something that I relate to or I want to see, then it's fun. Then it's fun to just connect with humans, and it's fun to get to know them, and it's fun to see their stories and to get to know their kids and all the things. So yeah, that. Okay. So your January, July collection, how do you keep track of who you invite and when? So like I said, everybody gets an invite. So basically I'll invite however many of people I invite that day, and I'll just like circle their picture. I'll like take a screenshot, circle their picture, and then the next day I just start on the next person. And I just keep going through the whole entire collection until they all get invited. No, not January through July, January and July. January, July, only those 2 months. So it's 6 months apart, so that every 6 months you're revisiting old people and adding new people. So every 6 months. Does that make sense? Okay. From May 15th to June 15th, put those people in July, January collection to invite them to a challenge group starting in July and January. So yes. So she is inviting them at least every 6 months. Yes, Jen, perfect. Jennifer, good. Martha, connections are my struggle. I sometimes have no idea what to comment on their pictures. Okay, connecting, you guys, this is simply what you're thinking in your brain. So naturally, you go to someone's page, like this girl, she's pregnant. Oh my gosh, you have the cutest baby bump. That's what I comment, because that's what I thought in my brain. What a precious moment. Your kids are adorable. That's what I would comment. That lighting is amazing. Comment. Holy crap, I love your bathroom. Emoji. Her hair, I can't even. Okay? Like whatever you're thinking in your brain is what you comment. Do not overthink this process. Just be normal. Except for if it's mean, obviously, don't comment mean stuff. Just be nice. But be real. Like you don't have to be like fluffy and like overly like kind. Like people read through that too. Just be normal. Like whatever you're thinking. Just, oh, they're so cute. For real, you guys. Not hard. This is the easiest part of our job. Just be normal humans. Okay, anything else? We're 30 minutes in, so I would love to wrap it up ASAP so this doesn't like drag on forever. If you guys don't have any other questions. Does this make sense though? So every once in a while, so I would love to, don't talk to me right now. Every once in a while, I'll go through my collections just really quickly, because my niche market, like the people that I kind of start to vibe with, shifts also as I grow and as I like grow as a human. So I will go through my collections and I'll weed people out just if I'm like, yeah, they're not really my person. Or I'll see posts in my feed and I'll unfollow the people who aren't my jam. And that's how, like, I still follow a lot of people and I have a really hard time unfollowing. I follow 6,300 people and I literally have a really hard time unfollowing people because I'm like, oh, but maybe, but you could be awesome. Because I'm following everyone with a purpose. So if you're not following someone who you'd want to work with, unfollow them. Like that's the first thing, is like weed out your following so that the people on your list are people you want to work with in your challenge group, coach on your team, or that you're just like super inspired by, like maybe some fellow coaches or whatever. But other than that, if you're like, yeah, you're crazy, I would never want to work with you, they should not be someone you're following, right? It's like quality over quantity for sure. But as you do this, you'll find that you get really good at finding quality people. And then you're like, shoot, like this person's in Denmark. Okay, well, I obviously can't work with them right now, so I'm going to unfollow them. So just stuff like that. Does that make sense? Okay.